My fellow Philadelphians, my fellow state agents that perform armed security in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia. I want to talk about this security guard's death at 53rd and R Street, a bar that I don't know the facts, I don't have all the details. I have to assume something bad happened and that man is dead, unfortunately. May he rest in peace. And this particular story bothers me to a certain degree. And there are some backlash. It's creating some interesting attention within the state agent community. So, and I'm going to tell you why. So I'm a state agent myself. I work at a bar every Friday for the last 2 years now as a state agent by myself. I don't represent a company. I don't work for a company. I work directly for the bar as a state agent with my gun permit and my Act 235. And if you see me, if you walk by me, you will mistake me for a cop, believe it or not. That's how professional I look. If you ever see me in person, regardless if you're a cop, you're a state agent, or you just a regular Philadelphian just walking by, so happen to walk by, you probably see me. You probably have no idea that you see me. And you will think I'm a cop because, believe it or not, I see some Philadelphia police wear the exact same shit that I wear to the T with some copycats. So that explains why I get mistaken for a cop. But that's not the reason I'm putting this video out. Because I'm putting this video out on Facebook and my personal YouTube channel. So like I said, I work at a bar for 2 years. I work there every Friday. And the bar is located, believe it or not, Kensington. I look like a cop. I'm a Pennsylvania state agent. I'm not a cop. If you see me, like I said, if you see me, you will mistake me for a cop. Because I almost dress like a police officer in Philadelphia. But no. Some certain cops wear the same exact shit that I wear. The same exact equipment. That's how professional I look. So keep in mind, I'm by myself in this bar. I'm the only state agent in this bar. So I'm the same guy. Believe it or not, I'm the same guy. So I have to ask myself, what happened with this guard that got himself killed? Or is his fault he got himself killed? Was it somebody else's fault? But at the end of the day, he has a job to do. And so do I. So I have my questions that will ask that security guard, that agent, as if he was alive. So if you're in West Philly and I'm in Kensington, how come I'm still alive? What the hell is going on? What happened? I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I have the ability to critique. Some people do. Some agents will not take bars. They won't take their bars. They won't take bars to save their life. Well, if you choose so, that's up to you. So some guys will say, I want to do it for $25 an hour. If something crazy happens, I will call the cops. Well, here's me. Here's the difference between me and maybe that person that will say, well, I'm not taking no detail. Well, let me tell you this. I don't like cops. What if I tell you I don't like cops? I don't trust the cops. I don't trust the cops. I don't have faith in the cops. So even if a gangbanger came to that bar in Kensington, shoot up the bar, managed to shoot me, and I'm bleeding out, I still would not call the Philadelphia police. However, because I'm transparent, and if I record it, you'll see the video for yourself. Because that's how transparent I am. So if I do nothing wrong, I have nothing to hide. However, there's some times when I know I'm wrong, and I still will put the video out there, even regardless of if I'm right or wrong. And there's sometimes that I admit I'm wrong, or I went overboard. But at the end of the day, what me and that dead agent have in common is, yeah, we work at a bar. Well, it's a job. We gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it. Who's gonna babysit the bars? The police? That security company that one guy criticized and said, yo, man, he's gonna take your Elko Delta's gonna take your contracts. I was cracking the fuck up when he said that. And I commented like, bro, that man's not gonna take these bars. He don't even want to take the bar. But somebody gotta do it. Somebody has to do it. At the end of the day, it's still a job. So yes, I like my dangers. I have my fair share of drafts, but once again, And I probably said it earlier, like my gun never left the holster. It never left the holster. It never did. It never left the holster, man. It never did. So yeah, maybe I know what to do, but when shit hits the fan, I'm going down. I'm going ham. Guns is coming out. I'm gonna do what I have to do to get the to protect the business, to get the job done. Okay? No, I'm gonna park over there. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get the job done. I'm gonna get the fucking job done. If I had to kill five gangbangers to get the job done, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna save the fucking video. Why? Because I want to let Philadelphia know that we got some heroes. You don't need to be a cop. You don't need to work for the government to let your city know that you're a fucking hero. That, and I'm a badass. I'm a badass. I don't fuck around. I will give the bad guy the fucking shootout if I have to. I will die doing the right thing. I will die to defend my constitutional rights. I will die for the cause. Like I said, a job is a job. If I'm getting paid to do it, I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't care if it's $35 an hour or $20 an hour. I had a debate. Some agents will say, "Well, I'm not gonna do this. I think this job pays too low. I think I should get 35." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay. Let me ask you a question. If you at a bar and you're the guard inside, let's say you're nearby the bartender, not at the door, and you see a riffraff going on. Let's say you see two guys fight inside the bar. What you gonna do about it?" He said he's gonna call the police. I said, "That's what you gonna do? And what else you gonna do?" "I'm gonna call the police and let the police handle it." "But you're inside the bar." He said, "Yeah, I'm inside the bar." I said, "Okay. And you want $25? No, you want 35? You think the detail should pay you $32 an hour?" He said, "Yeah." "Oh, you want $32 an hour?" "Yeah." "Okay." It's very interesting because I know a guy that's doing the same job you're doing for $22 an hour. And that guy, that agent who's doing the job for $22 an hour, he's not calling the fucking cops. In fact, he don't like cops. Shit. He don't like cops. You know what he gonna do with them two guys that's fighting the fucking bar? He's gonna take both of them fuck out. He's gonna make both of them fucking leave. And he's not gonna call the cops. He's not even gonna ask their guys for their fucking names. And guess what? Them two guys that was fighting each other, they might fight him. And that guy who's getting paid $22 an hour, he might shoot both of them. He might pepper spray both of them. Okay? And guess what? And the cops come because they're gonna somebody complain about gunshots. And guess what might happen? If he think that the cops are going to violate his rights because they mistaken him for the bad guy, okay, he might shoot it out with the cops. And that's the guy for that's the guy that's going to do the job for $22 an hour. But he won't call the cops. He might be in a shootout with the cops if he convinced the cops going to violate his rights because he thinks the cop believes that he's the bad guy, when in fact he's the victim, but he's doing this job. But the guy who's doing the job who's a state agent for $22 an hour, he won't call the cops. But he'll do more than you will do. But you want $32 an hour. You say you won't get involved with that fight. For $32 an hour, you're going to stay out of it, and you won't get involved with that bar fight, so you're going to call the cops. So you're going to sublet your job to the police, but you want $32 an hour. While the guy who making $22 an hour, he's going to go through all that fucking chaos. So now y'all wondering who's that guy who's getting $22 an hour. I'm talking about myself as if I'm a second person, just to prove a point to that guy who wants $32 an hour. So for $32 an hour, you're not going to risk your life. Well, what about the police? How much you think the police make? Oh, but they're the cops, so they got to deal with that bullshit. Well, I guess you're right. They're probably getting $25 an hour. Well, it depends. I don't know what the base pay for Philadelphia police. I don't know. Let's say it's $23 an hour. Let's say that. So since you want $32 an hour, you're not gonna get involved with the bar fight. You're not gonna do anything about the bar fight. So you're gonna let the cops handle it. So what if them two patrons start smacking each other with a fucking bottle, and the fight get worse and worse. A female who had nothing to do with the incident, now she dies. Now what? Now what? So the moral of the story is, there's not enough heroes. Everybody want to make money, but there's not enough heroes. Shit. I guess the $22 an hour guy should get 32 hours. I mean, should get $32 an hour if he's gonna do way more for less. Shit, maybe he deserved the raise. Maybe he deserved the opportunity to be a cop. But according to Pennsylvania, that's not good enough to be a cop. Because his bravery, despite it could be questionable, is not enough to be a cop. So it makes me wonder. So if you're not cut for the job, then don't do it. You're not cut enough to be a cop, then don't do it. You don't like cops? Well, that's a personal story. Hey, you ain't got the balls to do the job, then don't do it. You don't want the headache, you don't want the stress, you don't want the aggravation, you want to eliminate the risk altogether, then so be it. You got a problem with death, and well, it is what it is. Then you're not the one. Then you're not the one to make the cut. Then you're not a hero. If you're afraid of death, then you're not a hero. The Philadelphia police don't need you. Certain places don't need you. If you're afraid of death, then you're not the one. You're not a hero. You can't be a hero if you're afraid of death. I hate to sound crazy. They won't let me put those comments on YouTube. So I have to make videos of stuff like that to prove a point. So I'm not afraid to die. Since I'm not afraid to die for $22 an hour, or to protect my constitutional rights, if I think a cop is going to violate it, I'm going to have to risk death. Because I have my fair share with cops, which I'll show you on the video, other clips of evidence that I had my fair share with cops doing my job when I thought I was right. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, man. But the fuck? You want to hold me accountable? I'm going to hold you accountable. If you violate my rights, I'd rather die than live with the fact that you violate my rights. So, end of the day, so who you going to hire? You going to hire the 32 an hour guy that's going to call the cops when shit hit the fan? Or you going to hire the guy that's going to do more for less? Because it's all about how I get down, bro. I'm going to do my fucking job. Something crazy going on now. You take that bullshit somewhere else, man. You tell the cops, go play with these Philly gangbangers. Don't bring that shit here. Don't bring that shit in my bar. And that's how I get down. That's why I really have shit going on at my bar in Kensington that I work at. Because I don't fuck around. I don't. Fuck around, find out. You will. So if I'm willing to go in a shootout with a cop, if he's a tyrant or he a bad cop, if you're not a bad cop, if you're not a tyrant, then you got nothing to worry about. But if I tell you on Facebook or YouTube, yeah, I will be on a shootout with a cop if I'm convinced he's violating my rights or he's violating somebody else's rights, because I don't trust cops unless they prove me wrong. They prove me wrong, great. They do the job right, great. No problem with that. But so you gotta ask yourselves, well, I'd rather have the guy who's gonna protect me, who's gonna have my best interest. You know what I'm saying? For the right thing. I'm gonna do what is right. I'm gonna do what is right. Regardless what the society think, regardless what the law think. Okay? So that's my story. But hey, but then again, I must be crazy because people don't think like me. People don't operate like me. And I'm okay with that. And that's what makes me different. That's what makes me one of a kind. And thank you for your time. And thank you for listening.